So let's see how this goes. All right, so you've got the heading, order of operations. So it's just a matter of talking about when we do operations with numbers, or with when we get into algebra and symbols, you always need to have this convention. It's basically that people throughout history and mathematicians have decided that there's a particular convention that we need to follow, these rules that we need to follow, so that everyone will get the same results all the time. All right, so when doing calculations, there's a set order of operations that is followed. First one is anything that's in grouping symbols, so brackets mainly. Anything's inside brackets, you always need to do that first. Okay, you always need, and whenever it's in brackets on your calculator, always type this so that you're clear, because the calculator follows these order of operations. So if you don't follow them, you're going to get different results from what you think to do. Okay? So it's important that you always do brackets first. Second thing is powers, otherwise known as indices. So for example, you might have 2 to the power of 3, or 4 to the power of 5, or 3 squared, or something along these lines. Okay, so it's important that you do the brackets first, and you do indices, making sure that you have all of these covered. Right. After you know that you've done those, then comes multiplication and division. Now when you have different multiplication and division, it doesn't really matter what order you do it. But generally we follow it from left to right. But if you go from right to left, as long as you do it consistently, you'll get the same results. So that's okay. So multiplication and division is next, and then addition and subtraction. Alright, it's the final thing. So once you multiplied and divided everything, and before that you've done any powers that you have, and before that you put in any brackets, the final thing is you add all the final things. Awesome. Alright, I don't know, has anyone got any way that they remember this job? What is it? So how do you tell us how you remember?
Brackets. Just remember that word. I can't remember.
Is it big maths? Broad maths?
Broad maths.
So brackets?
Brackets, order, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction.
Addition. I'll just do multiplication and addition. Yep. So, okay, so you can use that to remember it, or you can do all sorts of things. However it helps you, but you just need to make sure that you're familiar with it. Okay, so you should know all these things already. So I'm just going to do a few examples. I'm going to do a few examples just so we know what we're doing. Alright, now, can I just ask, how's the font size? Is it too small? Perfect. Up the back? Yeah, sure, that's fine. So would you prefer to, I'll probably do it a bit bigger.
No, not big. I like it that size.
Okay, well, you can adjust it later, okay? So just let me know if it's ever too small, just make sure you tell me so I can know that when I'm preparing. Yes, no. Well, I'll sort that. Alright, so this one, first one that we have, we've got 4 minus 6 plus 7 times 4. So what has to come first, obviously, is the 7 times 4. That's the order that we're doing. So 7 times 4 is 28. So I can rewrite it, 4 minus 6 minus 28 plus 20. Alright, and that equals, tell me.
Wait, let's do 4 minus 6 together, so there's the, it'll be 4 minus 6 plus 28.
Doesn't really matter what order you're doing.
28.
So we've got 4 minus 6 is what? Yes, 26. Because it's got minus 2 plus 28, so it's 26. Next one.
That's right. To write down after the V. Like in
So I'd like you to, so this is an important point. If you choose to listen, that's fine. But when I ask you to do the exercise, you need to do the exercise in class, okay? What you need to do with the notes is finish them off or write them out in your mind. So that's the important thing. I mean, if you want to take a bit of time in class, just write points and fill it out later, that's fine. So you do, when I'm asking you to do the work in class, I need you to do the work, okay? You can use your time, but that is my request of you. Alright, here, 6 plus 17 times 3 plus 2 in brackets. What comes first? Huh? Brackets. So what do we get in the brackets? Plus 2, 5. So you can write it as 6 plus 17 and then a room here and then future. Alright, what comes next? What operation do we do next? Frankie? Yeah, so what is 17 times 5? It is 85, very good. Alright, so it's 6 plus 85, and so the final thing is, just put a line around this, and so it's 91. Good. Okay. Following what I'm doing, just following the order, the brackets, and multiplications, and then any addition. Okay? Alright, last two I'll just go through. Okay. Alright, so 5 times 6 minus 4 squared. What comes first? Good, 4 squared. And what is 4 squared? Good, so 5 times 6 minus 16. And then of course the multiplication, so 5 times 6 is? 30. 30 minus 16 is what? 14. Alright, so the reason I'm jumping, obviously the goal of all this is that you get it. So you just want to be not taking step by step, but you want to, if you need to initially, take the steps, take the time to make sure you're familiar with it. That's why we go over these things. Alright, if you think, oh, I've done it before, I don't want to do it again. That's not really the point. The point is we want you to make sure, take this time to know that you can do this, and you'll be able to grow in fluency. Now the final one. This fraction sign is also a division sign. Okay, you can write division as a divide, or you can give a fraction. Yes, John? Yes. Yes, yes. Alright, so the reason is we need to do the operations on the top and the bottom separately. Okay, you do the top, you do whatever's on the bottom, and then you do the top divided by the bottom. So 5 plus 7 is, so this one is different because you're assuming, without writing it, that you're using brackets. That's why it looks like we're changing the order of operation. But it actually means without drawing the brackets in, we have brackets in. Alright? So 5 plus 7 is 12 over 8 minus 4 is 4. 12 divided by 4, Josh, is 3. Good. So it's 3. Alright, and that's the important point here that I'll just make sure you can see. You guys have such a professional sounding relationship. Alright, so this is the important point about a fraction. A fraction is a division operation. When you have the numerator divided by the denominator over the denominator, that's a division. That's what it's saying. So half actually is 1 divided into 2 parts, which is 0.5 or half. Right? So when you have fractions with operations on top and bottom, a fraction is a division. You would think of it as a different way of writing the divide sign, line and plus. Make sure you perform the operation on the top and bottom separately. You do whatever's on top, you do whatever's on the bottom, and then you divide by the top and the bottom. You should use numerator and denominator, that's what the terms, but. And then when typing into a calculator, this is really important. And I would just like you to take note of this. Right, it's a really important point. When you're typing into a calculator, it's not using the smart tool, it's using one that. It's literally, it doesn't quite carry. When typing, it's really important that you put brackets around the top, brackets around the top and bottom. Right, somebody try this out for me, please. If you do 5 plus, just type it into your calculator. If I get your calculators out. write this down without writing in brackets. Okay? 5 plus 7, and just use a division symbol. 5 plus 7 divided by a minus 4. Go ahead and draw that in, write that in. 5 plus 7 divided by a minus 4. No brackets. What do you do? What do you get? 1.875. So you're going to get a funny thing, because what it's doing is it's dividing the 7 by the 8 first, and then adding the 5 and subtracting it. So that's why it's really important that you use brackets when you're using the calculator with things like this. Okay? Please make sure that from now you need to be getting familiar with how you use the calculator so you can really fluent with that. And that's what we're going to do. I'll just move it down. Now, once you've written the notes, what I'd like you to do is exercise 1.02, and I don't ask you to do all the questions, you just take note of the questions. Questions 1 to 5, do the third column of the question. Okay? Just do the third column. Nelson? Third column. Okay?
Yeah.
Question 6, you're doing every second one, A, C, E, and then questions 7 and 8, which will come up when I move it down. Questions 7 and 8, you are doing all of them. Okay? So I'll just like this. So question 1 to 5, the third column, question 6, every second one, and 7 and 8, you are doing all the marks. Okay? So if you could work on that, please. Okay?